Hey, welcome to this channel or wherever you're watching this from, the live session by King Mighty Official. I'm sure that you're going to get much value. But hey, my name is Nicholas Mighty and I'm a coach. I'm a life and business coach, and I've been doing this for quite a few years, right? And I have taught classes in person, and I do now online. And I'm really excited to see that turnout of events here. Feel free to message me directly, or to drop me a comment, or to leave me, something in that in the comment section wherever you're watching this from, either as recorded or whatever time you watch this. Feel free to drop me a message and let me know what you think, or what's your experience with print on demand. Why are you studying print on demand, or why are you interested? What challenges have you found? Without further ado, let's dive right into the presentation.
Right, so welcome again to this live session. So we are looking at fast, print on demand. Whether you're studying your fast or your whatever, it doesn't really matter. When you attend such sessions, you pick up information that probably you didn't see when you first started, or maybe one of the little things that you could have changed to make your project really successful. So again, we are selling printables without ever touching the product from start to finish. So session one, we are going to set up, right? Setting up everything, right? So setting up the store. So how do you deal with all of this stuff? How do you actually start from wherever you are, right? Let's have a look at what is POD in the first place. So print on demand is an e-commerce business model where you work with a supplier to print and fulfill orders for your customers. And again, it's that simple to print and fulfill without ever touching the product. This morning, I actually got an order for one of my, from the brand that we are actually going to look at. In the example that I will give you later on how to set up, we've dealt with my, so it's Print, a brand that we've established, from scratch, from zero, with a little budget, but we are going to grow it step by step. Of course, with you, if you like, you can follow these live sessions, because I will bring you results from what we've sold and from what we've tweaked, from the adverts or from the ads on Facebook, wherever we create these, I will bring them for you so that you can learn some of the tips and, whatever we deploy to make this a winner, right? So what are the advantages of print on demand? Again, it eliminates big barrier entry, right? It's a low risk business. You don't need to buy stock or products of your own. Someone else handles the printing and shipping for you, right? It's easy to set up and quick to implement. Very, very, very important. Once you understand these, this is actually passive income, right? You could be sleeping and orders could be coming in, and you don't, you just have to touch a few areas, master your marketing, and like the saying goes, only a few things matter. So you got to find them, stick to them, and master them. So marketing, in this case, your branding and your marketing are the most important things when it comes to your success, right? So how do you start, right? So here we are. So first of all, you want to start by choosing a niche, right? Now, a niche, if you check Google, is a specialized segment of the market for a particular kind of product or service. That's speciality, that's specialized. So for example, when we look at golf and we want to do print on demand, maybe we want to deal in shirts, we can say, I'm going to target men who do golfing, who love golfing, or who play golf. So that's a niche. Within the golf or within men at large, I have chosen those who actually like golf, right? So it's really impressive when you niche down, because that's when you actually get to the heart of your customers. That's when you choose that section that you want to serve. You can't serve everybody. You have to remember that, because once you try to serve everybody, you're not going to be successful. It's really difficult, right? At least not when you're starting. Don't make that mistake of generalizing and trying to serve everyone, right? So consider your passions. How do you choose? Consider your passions. What are your passions? What are the things that you like to do, right? Things that you love to do. Those are the things that you should venture into in the first place. Let's say if you're a golf player and you want to do POD, maybe you should consider starting out in the golf industry, right? And of course, after checking up all of these and making sure that there is a long-term potential, there is popularity in the search engine, and there is a sizable audience. Of course, after checking all of those, you basically, what you're trying to do when you go through 2 to 5 is basically to qualify your passion. But you want to start with your passion in the first place when choosing your niche. Very, very important. The other reason is you will not burn out. It's very, 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 very easy to burn out if you don't really do something that you love to do, right? Or something that you're used to doing. Very important. And of course, you have to research the competition. Do something with a little bit of competition. If there is some competition, it proves that it works, as opposed to what people think. Some people think, well, this is a market that has no competition. Well, that's okay, but sometimes it's difficult to determine if something works if it doesn't have competition, right? So very, very important. Sometimes you might spend more money trying to prove if it works, but with competition, you definitely know that it works, okay? So we want to set up a quick business. We don't want to go into try and error and all those kind of things. However, some parts of it will be, but hey, let's reduce the amount of things that will actually be try and error. So research the size of your audience. That's another point when choosing your niche, to consider when choosing your niche. After your passions, you've considered your passion, then research the size of the audience. What audience is actually interested in that passion? And you can use Facebook Insights for that. So you can go into things like popularity in the search. Again, to check for popularity, I actually use a Chrome extension for keywords everywhere, this, right? And you can see if I point to it. So keywords everywhere is really good, because if I say, for example, Google, right, and I type man golfer, so you're going to see some sort of, okay, that's let's have a look at, let's check a keyword that's got some count. So you can see it shows you some bit of volume, right? So, and of course the competition, CPC, the cost per click, and of course the competition, which is just these, and these are in I think they're in, 1 is the highest. So if it's like 5 from 0 to no, it's like 0.1 up to actually 1. So 1 is the highest. So it's 0.00 or 1. If it's 0.01, then that is low competition. 0.05, 0.2, 0.5. So you get to know the level of competition as regards to either SEO, and you can expand this, or paid search, right? But basically this shows you the cost per click, and you can see it shows you also the other long tail keywords that you can target. So after choosing men golfers, you can come around and say golf pants for men. That's 27,000. And ideally, for popularity in the search, you want to choose something that's got more than 10,000. You want to start at 10,000, right? You don't want to go to something that is not 10,000. Okay, so very, very important. Once you discover something, that your niche actually is popular, and it has about different keywords. You try different keywords, maybe about 10 or 5, and each of them has related to the same subject, and each of them has about 10,000 searches. Then you've hit the right chord. Okay, then you got to look at long-term potential. So if you decide to niche in, and I'm talking about print on demand, if you decide to niche in, let's say women who are breastfeeding, how long are they going to be breastfeeding? Maybe some breastfeed for 1 month, maybe some 2 months, right? And that's not enough for you to actually follow them up, because part of marketing is follow up, right? So you got to be honest with yourself and understand that, hey, sometimes things may not happen the way you think, especially when something has a short-term potential. So very, very important to remember that. Let's go into creating designs. And hey, I use Canva. It's a simple tool, right? And what I would recommend is, let's go to Canva. what I would recommend is just use templates. And I've showed you, if you watch the video, you can check the links in the description or in the chat, or look around for links, or go to my website and check, you know, and do a search. I have done a video on how to set up this print-on-demand store, actually exactly what we did with my Marvel brand. So just how to set up this shop, I have showed you. So you can go to my website or go to YouTube or check the links in the description and make sure you find this. And if you don't find it, the video to explain to you how I set this up, then you can send me a message and I'll send it to you. But basically, what I have explained how to create designs in Canva. I have explained everything on how you can actually use templates. So all you gotta do is t-shirt. Maybe you have some sort of sale. Maybe you want to target golf and you have maybe a quote that you want to use, and you can use something. You can just take up a design like this and change things around. It's really easy, but Canva is definitely it's free, but you want to do a paid version. And the reason is, when doing your exports, you want to try and export. And I'll show you with a quick design here. So if I'm targeting men golfers, I'm going to probably make it look golfy, right? Let's look at golf icons. So I've got this one, and I'll put it there. So I'll take off this house one. So, and I'll say there is no sport like golf. There is no sport like golf, right? So if I've created this design and I want to, print it out and, use it for my t-shirts, all I have to do is to go to download a PNG, and of course I want to use a transparent background. And so you're able to deal with color issues. I have showed you, of course, how to do that in the tutorial. You can check the links in the description on how to set up your store using WordPress, but I went into that as well. So let's go back to so that's one way to make quality designs, and if you find that you can do a test order, and if you find that your designs are not really correct, the color is not really very good, I mean the DPI or whatever, you can actually give your designs to somebody who has Photoshop skills, so they can reproduce them for you. It will be easier for them, but it will give you good quality if they save them well. So again, setting up your store using WordPress, we have set that up. You can check the links in the description. If you're on YouTube and if you're on Facebook, still look around, you'll find the links somewhere. Right, so very, very important. And of course, there are the others that you can use. You can use Wix or Shopify, or you can outsource. Now, one reason I recommend outsourcing, especially when it comes to setting up your store and doing it DIY, is you'll save a lot of time and devote it to what really matters to your business, right? If you're non-techie, this is going to waste a lot of your time trying to actually set this up. So what you want to do is to make sure that you save a lot of time for what actually matters, right? So very, very important. Spend your time on what matters to your business. If it's marketing, that's where you should spend your time. So don't waste your time on other things and playing around, with your website and taking months to try to make it look great. No, unless you're adding features like maybe you want to sell, maybe you get what I mean. So unless you add features that help a buyer to actually upgrade or do something like that, I suggest you outsourcing. And of course, we do have a company that I can recommend. You can check the links in the description. There is a good offer for you if you really want to go outsourcing. There is a really good offer from Billionaire Surge. I've put their links in the description. Have a look and see how it goes, right? So, and of course, I've gone into the pros and cons of these. Of course, WordPress is good because you can extend functionality to whatever you want, right? Some of them are paid, extensions, which you call plugins. But regardless, you can still make your website or create it the way you want. Okay. And of course, it's easy to use even for non-techies because they are drag and drop options. And of course, in the video on how to set up your WordPress store, your shop, your POD shop, I have explained all of that using drag and drop, and it's free to use. All you gotta do is to pay for hosting. And of course, there are some cons there, right? Hosting is done separately. I still think that is a good thing though, because again, you want to be, WordPress is free, but it helps you to own your website. You can move your website to wherever you want. Okay. And you need plugins for additional features, which is, it's a disadvantage, but it's also an advantage because that's what helps you to extend your store to whatever you want, right? So let's have a look at others. Wix, again, there's pros and cons of these. When you set up your platform, your website on Wix, it's entirely up to you, but I still think that WordPress is the winner, but you can still go Wix. Again, all the links are in the description. Then we go Shopify, right? Shopify is another one. It's really amazing. The only challenge with this is sometimes you're going to have that charge that comes out every month. And sometimes it makes you feel really bad if you're not making the sales. Okay. So, if you consider your budget when doing this, when I was setting up the WordPress website, doing the setting up the store for us, in the tutorial, I think our budget came up to $180. So if you got 180, you can set up a pretty easy store using WordPress, with most of the tools free, apart from the few that I listed in that video again. So very important to remember. So, hey, we are finalizing with this. And of course, basically what we will do next time, we'll go into selling, right? But share with me what you think. What do you think about print on demand? If you really want to earn passive income, then you gotta look into something like this. This is a great idea. Okay. So first of all, before we finish, let's look at the suppliers that you can work with. Now, in the example that I set up, we used Printful. I think Printful is pretty amazing, even though I didn't have to, the mockups I still got from Placeit by Inverto. I'm sure you've seen Placeit. Oh, it's Placeit, right? So I used mockups from here because they've got some lifestyle mockups. So if I put my design on this shirt, you can see that somebody is actually wearing it at home, and then you see yourself in that picture and then you buy it. It's very different from mockups like this, right? Okay, that's even decent, right? Well, what I found with Printful is that their mockup generator has just, basic mockup. So it's, but otherwise they are pretty amazing. I think they've got good quality. They've got quite a large selection you can choose from. And so you can examine all the others. We won't go into them in this session, right? Because our time is almost up. Okay. We want to keep these short so that they are digestible, but you can go into all of these. Again, I've put a download of, these suppliers compared. Okay. You can compare them according to their shipping times. So you can compare and do, make a decision on who to use or who to work with, depending on exactly where you live, because that will determine the shipping methods and how fast they ship to your customers. Okay. So I hope that's helpful in a way. Thank you very much for, being here and watching this, attending this live session. Again, we are going to look at promoting and earning, in the next session, which is on Saturday at 4 p.m. BST. Again, don't miss it for anything. Remember to share this to any of your loved ones that you think would love to use or to earn financial, to get, to be financially free at some point. Hey, these are things that you can start up and still do while you still work at your day job. These are things that you can still do and still profit, on the other hand, right? So thank you very much, and I will see you on Saturday.